Yo, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Wednesday edition of the Apex Brotherhood live stream. My name is Richard, and I'm going to be your host for today. But first, a disclaimer. Groovy. Let's get some music going. I forgot to put the music on yesterday. Whoops. Here. All right. Let us get a screen share going up. First thing in the morning. Okay. All right. Let's have a little gander at the market. It is Wednesday today, guys. It is the mid portion of the week. So we had a bit of a subdued day yesterday. Yesterday was a Canadian and US bank holiday, so didn't expect much movement yesterday during the New York session. So this is pound. And this is how New York moved. New York had a grand total of 26 pips movement, which doesn't seem bad. But until you consider that the moment the London session closed out, this was basically the top point over there, and this was the low end. Let's make that the low end, because it's the lowest point, was 20 pips. And you needed to really catch it at the right time in order for you to get any sort of movement. This was GU, EU yesterday, same deal. Why is my drawing still here? Okay, maybe I forgot to clean this one up, but it doesn't matter. The same with GU as well, with EU as well. If that was the top point of it, the bottom was 20 pips. So across GU and EU, you had 20 to 22 pips of movement. And if you did not catch it the right way, you were going to be spending hours in drawdown just to eventually close out, maybe in drawdown. So no intention of trading the New York session yesterday. There was just nothing for the majority of the day yesterday on EU as well. EU didn't look bad. We did have higher highs and higher lows in relation to the previous highs and previous lows. So we had a bit of an upward trending market. We reached a point where we just consolidated across the board and then just absolutely fired its way up. But yeah, no... At this point, I had already made the decision I wasn't going to put any more trades in. I only had a singular trade yesterday on NAS, which ended up being a bit of a failure. Yesterday, I tried putting a trade on the 15 minutes on NAS. So I had a downward trending market, an attempt to push higher, and then a continuation lower. So rally, drop, base, and then drop. On this base candle over here, I put in a trade. Now, I would have wanted to have my stop loss at roughly about 50 points, $50. So what is that? That's 5,000 points, 500 to 5,000. And my take profit would have been 1 to 2, somewhere down here. But instead of putting 500 or 5,000 points on TradingView, I ended up putting 500 points, which was somewhere over there. And yeah, as you can see, I opened and then basically immediately within this few seconds, it just closed the trade again. So I had a little bit of a mishap there. Would have been a lovely trade had I decided to, or had I not made that mistake, but I decided I wasn't going to re-enter or try and run the trade again, because I needed to make sure, I needed to reinforce to myself that I need to be on the ball all the time and make sure that when I do enter a trade that I enter exactly the stop loss and the take profit exactly according to my plan, and I need to check it before I press enter, or before I confirm the trade. So small little loss. It was $6, somewhere around there. Was planning on only risking about $50 to try and make $100 on US tech on NAS, and yeah, it ended up being what it was. It's one of those things. So from today onwards, I will make sure that I double check everything before I enter, so that I'm 100% according to my strategy. All right, so let's have a look at GU now today. GU is looking good for a potential buy for me. This is the 15-minute. I'm going to start on the 4-hourly. On the 4-hourly, we've had this very bearish downward trend for quite a while, and then eventually we started pushing bullishly. As of, I think this was last week, Wednesday, we started pushing a little bit more bullishly, started making higher highs in relation to the previous lows and highs, and then eventually we got to a point where we kind of plateaued a little bit. This was on Monday. So this is probably not going to be the best week for trading, because we do have tentative high impact news on Friday for the dollar. So my expectation was that we were probably going to have a bit of a flat week. But then we made this attempt to push lower, which bundled perfectly into this 4-hour base area. If I go down to the hourly and I just adjust it a little bit just to there, you can see that we attempted to push lower into this hourly base over here. We reacted off of it, creating a new hourly base. Kind of dwindled above for a while, came back into it, had a nice reaction yesterday, even though yesterday we didn't expect a lot of action during New York, but during the London session it looked pretty good. And then we made a double top, effectively, up over here. So we have this little range that we're ranging in, and now we've just come to attempt to test it again, and it looks as though it wants to start pushing higher. So if we're trending sideways, this would pretty much be the range for us to trade in right now. So between these two. So right now, I would like to see price come up to this point and test it yet again and see how it's going to react from that point, because we're not making a lot of headway either way. So we're very flat, but I'm flat with the idea of hitting this top portion first and then deciding what to do from there, potentially just ranging between these two. So I am looking for short-term buys, going down to the 5-minute. I marked but did not take a nice base rally because it wasn't in my time frame. I just marked it. We had this slowed reaction down over here, real indecision, real sideways action, and then a break going higher, and then an attempt to push lower into it, and then failing, making a rally base and then a rally. On the close of this candle, could have checked for sorry, that was the wrong one. Gold. This is pound. So having a trade like this, the only issue was how high this take profit would have been in relation to the high of the day. So I wasn't too keen on taking this trade. However, if I had taken my EU version, I have two different take profit and stop loss points for EU and GU. If I had taken an EU one on this one, it would have been great. But the thing that really cemented the idea of us going higher at least attempting to take yesterday's highs, or to come and test yesterday's highs, was the fact that we had consolidation here, very, very short-term consolidation, but at a area in between a base. So there was a base here with a reaction. A lot of indecision here. We have the break. Price comes back into it, attempts to push lower, just absolutely fails, knowing that this is an area of contention. So you can think of it like arm wrestling. Bulls and bears wrestling against each other. In this area over here, if they're in the middle point, just kind of back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And then eventually the bulls take over. They win the first round. The second round, they're trying again to come and test the same area. The bears are trying yet again to overwhelm the bulls. Almost getting them against the block, and then the bulls just absolutely take over yet again, forcing the win for the bulls. So in this case, we have the rally base and then a rally, and then technically this base was tested right here. This is a 5-minute base, by the way. So we've already made a higher high in relation to the previous highs, which is over here. And we've made a higher low in relation to the previous lows, which is down here. So price action is currently turning more bullishly, even though it's on the very short term and it's very, very early days with the beginning of the London session. But the idea is just that we're already heading closer towards the daily high, which I would want to see a reaction from as well. Anyway, so price then pushes higher, comes back and tests it, and absolutely fails to really retest this low again when it had the opportunity on this candle to come and potentially push it lower, for the bears to push the price lower. It failed, and we started pushing higher. So this is the idea that I had for a potential long. Once again, we are at the very tippy top of it, but it's building on the idea of I'm looking for a potential longer or shorter time frame long push instead of a short push. But yeah, so these are the two areas between which I'm going to look for trades today. If it breaks out either to the high or to the low, then I will take the direction regardless. So that is GU for me at the moment. It looks good, or it looked good, let's rather say, for shorts, but it was so short, so non-volumetric, no momentum. It's just slowly dwindling lower, and then when there's an attempt to push lower, it just fails, like down here. So we could potentially see absolute sideways action. That is also another thing that we could see today between these 2 points. But I mean, these 2 points are still, how much is this? Still 46 pips. So there's more than enough space for me to try and get a rally-based rally on the shorter time frame. That's EU at the moment. I am looking for the potential for longs depending on how we break this daily candle, yesterday's daily candle. So pretty much a drop and then a rally and an attempt to base down lower and then rally yet again. It's what I'm kind of like hoping for. Even though we have this on the daily, we have this channel which was broken down here, but we've wicked into it. I would like to see it push higher, even though I know that there's a potential that it might just push lower from this channel point as well, because we've had the break of the channel and then retesting it. So it wouldn't surprise me if we started pushing lower. However, the fact that we don't have any impetus, we don't have high impact news, we have tentative news for this week. So if the market is kind of like waiting, it's just like it's waiting for either the news or the reaction. And as it stands right now, a little bit of indecision. So it could go either way. That is GU. Before I carry on with that, let me say hello to everybody that is in chat. MGN, good morning, MGN. Finally, you're back into first place to say hello in the morning. I know that yesterday you had some issues with the internet. Good to see that it's sorted out now, my friend. Davies Brothers, yo, yo, yo. Will, what's up, mate? How's your trip going? I wasn't in the Discord yesterday afternoon after the Fiverr stream. I had my mother-in-law's birthday. We went out for dinner, and then afterwards we went out for drinks with some of the family friends. So I only opened up Discord this morning, and I didn't really have a look at it. So, dude, let us know how it's going. Pooley, yo, 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 what's up, Pooley, mate? Davies Brothers currently sitting on the train trading GU and gold. What direction? Are you buying? Are you selling? Wait, let me see if I can see what you... It really depends on what time you started trading. Let's start with GU. I'm going to try and calculate where you got in. So I'm just going to remove some of my drawings. You probably would have looked at this as a little bit of an area of consolidation, potentially. If you were just looking at the morning hours, and then an area to test for is this consolidation up over here, you would have seen the break of this consolidation here, but you probably would still have been asleep. Price would have attempted to push lower and then failed, and then started pushing higher, wicked in. So I'm thinking you entered right there at 131,425, and you're aiming for this consolidation up over here of yesterday. Let's look at the 5 minute if there's like a little bit better. If I can... Yeah, that's what I think you ended up doing. You got into a trade there. You're currently still in it. Your stop loss would be underneath the Tokyo. I think your stop loss would be underneath yesterday's lows. And you're trying for a 1-to-1. So something like that. This is what I think on GU you're looking for. And you probably would have taken out now, because you're struggling on the 5 minute with this little candle over here. So I'm assuming that you've taken out somewhere like this for about 10 pips. So that's what I'm thinking on GU you were looking at. And then gold is a bit more tricky. I think you were potentially... Let's have a look. So on gold, we have this section over here that acted as a resistance point. Let's start on the 15. Let's look if we have consolidation. We do have a little bit of consolidation over here. We also have consolidation up over here, which is a nice reaction from that. So maybe you saw price react lower from here. You saw price fail to push lower than yesterday's lows and started pushing up. Let's look at the 5 minute. If there's an area here of slight consolidation, break and retest, we do have this tiny little area over here. I'm not sure on gold where you would have gotten in if you're long or short on gold. I think looking at the higher time frame on the hourly, it is a little bit sideways. So something like that, triple top, and then a double bottom from yesterday with this area over here as a base. So let's remove this one and this one and this one. So you're currently sideways. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. I think you're in buys, mate. I think you 15.5. you looked at this and took a buy here somewhere, aiming for there, and your stop loss is potentially below the Tokyo lows. This is what I'm thinking you're looking for. This is a 1 to 1.9. You might have aimed for this over here. This little bit of consolidation up over here. That's probably what you were aiming for. So just the bottom of that, close to a 1 to 1. This is what I'm thinking on gold. So this is gold, and your GU1 is here. And I think you've taken out of GU now. This is what I'm thinking for your stuff, mate. Let me know if how close I am. I'm trying to be positive for you, mate. I think you've got a good trade. Louis, good morning, Louis. How are you, my friend? I haven't seen you in a while in our stream, but I've seen you in the Fiverr stream. Good to see you, my friend. I just have a hair in my eye. Infinity, good morning, Infinity. How are you, my friend? Good morning, guys from Infinity. Morning to all the bros. Good morning, wifey. How are we this morning? Obviously, I know how we are, but like engagement. The only event today is the US House vote to reopen government 21-0. Yes, that is true. Forex Factory, we have zero high impact news today. So yes, it would be great to see whether or not we can actually have some sort of impact that can start pushing the markets just a little bit. Took out of GU on the high, then it pumped. Took out of GU on the high here. So you did something like this then, I'm assuming. Stressful high, yeah. 6:45 UK time. So 6:45 would be 8:45, which is here. Ah, nice rally-based rally, mate. So you did this. I mean, that's good. That's a good trade. Like, I mean, I would have wanted a rally-based rally. This is perfect, mate. That's a really good trade. Even though it did start pumping, you were probably aiming for either the highs here or a little bit higher up over there. But this is still a great trade, mate. Are you sure your train is going in the right direction? Only saying after your boat trip. Oh, dude, Pooley. That's crazy. Right, I'm back. Nearly got on the wrong way. The wrong one. Yeah, dude, like, you should pay attention. But, dude, I'm just joking. Like, I know that it is stressful. Dude, tell me about your gold trade. Like, you said you were in gold and GU. How close am I with, or well, how close am I with this analysis taking out? And okay, obviously you told me what time you got in and when you got out, but my analysis beforehand I think was pretty damn close. How's the gold one? How am I on gold in relation to your trade? I mean, if you're in gold and this was your trade, mate, oh, good, so good. Such a good trade. Bang on GU, mate. Yeah, I mean, like, obviously you said that you entered at 8:45 or 6:45 your time, so that's 8:45. But initially I thought you would have gotten in over here and, you know, we're aiming for this upper section of this consolidation here on the 15-minute. But you ended up getting in here, which is exactly where I would have wanted to get in. Because it is a reaction, like I explained this morning. I don't know if you were here while we were saying that we had this short little area of consolidation. Price broke out of consolidation, came to retest it, failed to make a new low, and then started pushing higher. Over here, we broke this previous swing point. So, like that. Broken close, attempted to push lower, failed, and then made a rally. So, rally, base, rally, after a reaction off of an established area, which is, in this case, a consolidation at the lower end of Tokyo. So my trade had I taken the GU one with my GU settings, would have been about 11, almost 12 pips in profit. However, I would have rather wanted to take a EU long purely because the high point of Tokyo, this area over here, is the high of the day, and we have not tested it once. So I was a little, how can I say this? I was waiting to see what the reaction was going to be from this point, and as of right now, we're reacting off of it a little bit more strongly than I would have liked. But this would have been the trade that I would have looked for. This would have been a 1 to 2. How am I on the gold trade, mate? Gold's a little... Gold, you're a little out. Bought at the high. Here. Deep drawdown. So took out at the supply. Oh, okay. All right. So you were trying to buy, I'm assuming. Oh yeah, you did say bought at the high. Oh, that's unfortunate, mate. So you entered over there, and then you decided to take out down over here. All right. Oh, dude, that's unfortunate. But the same idea. I mean, that on gold, we have a similar idea on a rally-based rally. If I just remove these drawings here, you have price dwindle down, and then just this is such consolidative price action. It attempts to break, and then it just fails, and then starts pushing up, and then when it has another opportunity to push lower, it fails, pushes up a little bit higher, retests this base area, just wicks below, and then really starts pumping. So like I said, gold, I'm looking for it to come and test up over here. I'm probably not going to be trading gold during the London session. I'll wait for New York, and then I want to see New York's reaction once it opens up, all of those market players back in again. Technically, right now we are still consolidative sideways within these two boundaries. We're not really rallying, as you can see from yesterday. Yesterday's high hasn't been tested. Yesterday's low just got tested basically now, but it's just ranging in this area at the moment. So it's just ding, 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 hopping between these points. So yeah, dude, that's unfortunate. Strategy almost goes out of the window when you're trading against time and affordability. Dude, it's like trading on a Friday for us when we're having our competition, where you have a strategy that you want to incorporate, but you have that time crunch and you're pressed for time because you want to win. You want to be the one that made the most amount of capital on that day. But now obviously your stakes are a lot higher. Like if you don't make any money, you're not eating. If you don't make any money, you're not traveling. If you don't make any money, you're not sleeping anywhere nice and decent. So that's why yesterday when you were on the Fiverr stream, I tried to give you some encouragement, because I know that this is hard. What you're going through right now, it's difficult. It's probably one of the most difficult trading related sequences that you're going to have to go through anytime soon. So I just wanted to give you like a little bit of a, you can do it, mate. Like, just focus on your strategy. And but I understand that it's not easy. It's not an easy. It's easier said than done. Anyway, who else is looking at what? Who is in which asset at the moment? Let's see if we can help Mr. William out on a nice little trade. If somebody's got a really good idea of a trade. I think if I had to... Why is all my drawings back? Now this one is gone. These ones are gone. This one I didn't remove. Oh, okay, maybe I just removed EU and GUs. EU and US techs. could also be because I was drawing now as we were speaking. Oh yes, another confluence on GU why I think we're going to start pushing up is because we had this area down over here on Friday, which was tested yesterday and reacted off of, and then just wicked yet again down here. So still looking for the idea of potential GU longs. We do have this area over here. Yesterday, price pushed through it. If I just drag it towards the left, you'll see a little bit more of a reaction off of it. Price pushed through strongly with the news, pushed back into it, failed, tried to push lower, broke through it, almost tested it, and then on the daily open, this is where we've opened now. So this is a nice little area of support/resistance. I feel we can potentially have a reaction here. Right now, we're not seeing the reaction, so I'm thinking we're going to start pushing through it with the intention of potentially testing yesterday's highs. If we go on to the daily, same idea as I mentioned earlier. Little bit of indecision. We're a little bit sideways, but at least test the highs of yesterday and then maybe decide what it wants to do. Hopefully we can get a continuation, so a rally, a base on the daily, and then another rally. If today can close nice and strong, we can then potentially see a retest of this base area and then continuing higher. But it's like this right now. It's possibly, I wouldn't say it's unlikely. It's just, I don't think it's all that likely with the fact that we've got such a crappy sideways market this whole week. Same with gold as well. We still have this daily base area where we've came into it very strongly, but then we've slowed down significantly. So waiting to see. GU and gold, I'm a little bit flat. EU and US tech, this is on the daily. We've already had a rally and then a base and then another rally candle. So I would like to see EU also start pushing higher on the daily. As it is right now, it looks a little bit slowed, a little bit subdued, but it's still the idea. I want to see follow-up. I want to see a follow-up of the bullish movement that have happened over the last 5 days. I don't want to see a follow-up bearish candle. Then it would mean that we're just going to push lower, even though we are currently in a downward trend on EU on the higher time frame. So we haven't, this was the highs of a few weeks ago, and since then we've been making lower lows, lower highs on the daily. But I would like to see this bullish momentum that's come in here start pushing higher, though once again also not the most convinced of higher pushes all that much. I mean, if we're gonna have to push higher on the daily, on the 4 hourly, there are some areas over here where price has just, I don't know, it's like a really good support/resistance area. So you have multiple touches and reactions off of this area over here. So this could be a nice area for price to get to try and either push lower from or to push higher out of it. So I think not a bad area to try and test for. So if we can come and test this most recent high and react off of it. So we're almost there. I'm saying almost is it's like probably like 50 pips away. Yeah, it's like 40 pips exactly away. But we can still test it. All right. This challenge is batshit crazy hard. Dude, I get it. Like, I really freaking understand, mate. Like, having... and I think a lot of people know this. If you are reliant on trading as your sole income, or at least let's say, high pressure situation that requires you to make money in order for you to move out of this high pressure situation, it's the most difficult thing to do. That's why if you're going to go travel, obviously the challenge is to see how far you can get with your trading alone. But if you're going to do something like this and not make it a challenge, have some backup money and have the freedom to just trade without the need to say, oh, you know what, I'm reliant on this trading money. So yeah, I think it's time to pump out Ewan and get a few euros for lunch, Will. I like that idea. I think that Ewan must go and be a performer. I don't know, street performer. Buy some paint him silver, and have him just stand around, and then you can maybe make money that way. Looking to back in on gold long and GU long. Let's look at GU and gold for now. This is the 4 hourly. Let's go down to the 15 minute. Waiting for the reaction over here to see what it wants to do on pound. If it starts pushing lower, I will just aim for this bottom portion down over here. This is gold. Let's just remove that. This higher area over here coincides perfectly with an hourly base that I have that was tested multiple times on gold. So if I just go to the hourly, you'll see it. You'll see it. So price pushed lower. It attempted to push higher. It failed. It had a very strong reaction off of us. Pushed back into it. Pushed away, attempted again, pushed away, attempted yet again, and then just collapsed. And now we've reached it yet again, and we're having very little reaction off of it. So price is just struggling to push through it. So I would really want to see this tested again and see how it reacts off of it, even though we have not made lower lows or higher highs. We're just kind of like stuck in this area of consolidation over here. I think that if we're going to bounce and break through, this would be the very first area that we need to break through in order to say, yes, now we have some bullish momentum. So hopefully, mate, hopefully you can find a really nice little trade. This doesn't look horrible, to be dead honest. We are at this area of consolidation right now. We just wicked it. And we've had multiple reactions over this area. So potentially wait and see how we react where we are currently. This area right now is a support and resistance because price has reacted off of it multiple times. Let's say you established it over here. There's one reaction. It pushes through. It attempts to test it again. Dwindles down. Comes back to it again. Tests it right there. Breaks through. Retests it in this whole area. And then absolutely just tanks down. And now we're here yet again. So yeah, let's give it a moment to kind of just show what it wants to do. I would think. I would caution getting in right now. I would wait for the reaction here first. Thinking about it, Pooley. Sean. MGN. I'm looking at a UJ sell. Okay, let's have a look at UJ. Okay, so this is on the 5. Let's go over to the hourly and see. Okay, I still have some old drawings here. Okay, so this base is still applicable. I think this might still be applicable. This is no longer applicable. Ah, okay. So we had this higher time frame area of resistance where price multiple times failed to break through, and here we have the very first breakthrough right there. So Now the question is it a break and retest and then continue up higher? Let's wait and see. I think on the 15-minute, let's have a look. I mean, let's bring this one forward. Let's take the most recent high point, which is right there. Let's reduce this a little bit to see if we can. Yeah, this looks good. Mate, we've had the most tightest of reactions off of this break and retest. Right there. We do have a base area on the 15-minute down over here. We've made a double top, triple top now by this point. We've got a massive wick underneath in relation to the candle body right over here, which could signify a potential want to push higher. We do have this area over here where potentially price could dwindle down and then fail to break through and then start pushing up from. But then again, I don't know exactly what it is that you're going to be looking for just yet. So I am going to have a look back at your comment. We had a nice bullish move, and now we are rejecting the Tokyo session high for the third time on the 15 minutes. So this is now established rejection. However, if you, like I said, if you have a look at the higher time frame, you would see that we've had a break and retest off of these highs here, which we've got multiple ones. So established, test, second test, third test, fourth test, fifth test, and only the sixth test did it finally break through and then wicked it again. So if you're looking for a sell, maybe selling back into this area is a good idea. However, I would want to wait and see for this reaction right now. What does it look like on the 5-minute? Technically, it is a slightly higher high in relation to the previous one, but this high still stands. So this whole portion over here is still an area of interest. We've started moving away from it. We need to see whether or not we can have this low over here broken, and then potentially this low over here. I don't think that this is a swing trade going lower. I am banking more on the idea of going higher. Purely because we broke through this higher time frame area of interest, and we broke through after the 6th attempt. So multiple times that we've tried to break through it. And as we've broken through, we've retested, even though the follow-up is not as volumetric as I would have thought it would be. What is the absolute size over here? The break retest. So from this point over here, as it stands right now, we have 27 pips movement, which is not all that strong. I would have expected a break and retest if we retested to absolutely just send it. If this area, maybe a deeper retest first, and then a reaction off of the deeper reaction. Maybe you might be right about sells. Maybe just a deeper retracement and then a sell into buys, that kind of like thing. But yeah, only time will tell. Gotta go, guys. Be back in a bit. All right, mate. Good luck with the trading. Good luck with those pesky Italian streets and people trying to get you on the wrong bus and then on the wrong train, then the wrong plane, then the wrong whatever. Good luck, mate. Have a great day, gents. Rich, I watched Bloomberg live session today and they said the Fed will cut the rate more on December. Pretty much, I know LJ is the one really to ask about this. But I do think that the probability of a rate cut in December, I think, is high. But you never quite know. You will only know on the day whether or not they actually are going to go ahead with the rate cut. But I do believe that the probability is reasonably high that there's going to be another rate cut in December. I don't think that they would just mention a rate cut and not actually go through with it this close to the end of the year. The last 2 times they said that they were going to do a rate cut, they ended up doing it. So I'm leaning more towards the idea that they're going to have a cut. So, but just take that with, take it as tentative right now. You will know on the day, but I think we're leaning way more towards the idea of actually having a rate cut. MGN, that is the idea, yes, mostly a quick scalp. Awesome, great. Pooley saying Infinity, 63% probability of a rate cut in December at the moment. 63% doesn't seem all that much. Powell has more hawkish, or was more hawkish than previously thought at the last meeting presser. So with the idea of the hawkish and dovish, in this case, hawkish, you're up high, you're looking down, you're looking at what it is that you can go and take down lower. Dovish, you're looking up. So there's a good potential then that they would probably cut it. I'm not a fundamental trader. I'm not a fundamental analyst either. I just trade what I see, but I think it's good to take into consideration that there might be rate cuts, and then that will impact the market more aggressively than we've had now recently. Pound is starting to sell off at this high point of Tokyo, so we've missed the high of the day. Well, we've kind of just wicked it, which was technically the low of. Okay, we've missed the low ever so slightly. We're having quite the sell-off right now, so I think there's a potential now for this bottom portion here to be absolutely broken through if we can close lower than that point, and then potentially come and test. Oh, that's the wrong tool. We can come and test this if this candle has follow through. So it starts pushing lower, it attempts to push higher, it fails, it starts pushing lower. So then we can definitely see a little bit more bearish movement come into play, because this is a strong reaction. This is a strong candle in relation to the previous ones. What's the size of this candle currently? That's 10 pips without the wicks. So strong reaction from this area, very slowed reaction, and then a push lower. So GU starting to push a little bit lower. EU, I'm assuming the same thing. Yes, same thing. Only difference is here we've taken the high of the day. Here we took the high, pushed a little bit lower, didn't create a new low in relation. That is not the straightest line that I've drawn, but yeah. So you have this little area of consolidation over here, wicked into it, attempted to react or attempted to push higher, failed, and now it's pushing lower. So I want to see, first and foremost, oops, I didn't mean to delete that one. I want to see how it's going to react in relation to first this area over here where we've already had a singular reaction off of this area of consolidation here. I want to see its reaction here, and then if it fails, I want to see the reaction down here, which is in line with the bit of consolidation that we had yesterday before we had that nice little push off. So how large is this? Yeah, I'm going to just take that area over there, remove this one. This is what I want to see. I want to see price push lower than this current wick over here. See, this is what I mean by I'm a reactive trader. I wait for the market to show me certain movements before I decide what it is that I would like to do. I mean, this area over here does look like a very nice test area. if it had tested it, but it didn't. Anyway, price needs to break and close lower than this most recent swing, and then react off of this zone here. Either break through or push off of it. Still, there's still the potential for it to absolutely just tank sideways. Wow, this is in line with that. Here we have highs over here. Yeah, I can see us react first off of this before we reach this. Because this one's had multiple reactions. Strong attempt, didn't really push lower, and then a strong push through. Yeah. In the Wilds, good morning all. Good morning in the Wilds. How are you, mate? How are you this morning? Did you go for a run? You never told me yesterday. I want to know. Did you go for a run? I didn't. I didn't go for a run this morning. Infinity, the link is the Fed Watch site and is great for info on potential cuts. That is great. I like that, Puli. Thank you for sharing that for us. Let's have a look at gold. What is gold doing? Gold is still sitting roughly in this area. Had a nice reaction off of this point down here, and now it's just slowly struggling. Let's look at NAS. NAS had the break of the Tokyo session and then basically tested it here and started pushing off of it. See? So if we just take this as the Tokyo high, it missed the test, but we did have this small little area of indecision over here that basically got tested and then reacted off of. But now we're struggling to break this new high. What are we in relation to the day? Okay. So we've just taken Thursday's highs, which hasn't been tested once, but we haven't seen a reaction. We haven't seen a strong reaction off of it. What is the likelihood of us pushing higher from here? I don't know if we can see it right now. I mean, we had this during New York session, this whole area of consolidation over here. Let's look at the 15. We literally broke and retested the New York highs of yesterday. This morning we broke through it and literally just retested it here and then started moving off of it. Definitely more bullish on NAS at the moment. We do have this area down all the way over here, which was an indecision point. We had an interesting decision point over here as well, which was tapped down, retouched, and then pushed lower. Yeah, we are right at a decision point. And quite a significant one at that. We're bullish into it, but we're slowing down. There is a potential that we can actually push lower from here. We have an area over here. This is a while ago, just before the gap. Consolidation. Massive reaction. This was probably news. Consolidated, broke through. We had the gap, came back into it, wicked over here. This is on the 4 hourly. Price pushed off of it, came back into it, consolidated, broke through, and then gapped again as it was going higher. So this is also a potential area to be tested. So right now, if I just remove these drawings, if we're going to react off of this area and we react strongly, we'll probably come and test down here. We'll probably come and take this gapped section of Monday. So we have a small little gap over here on the daily. Do I have a template for a gap? No. I'm going to gap, and then let's change the color here. What shall we make the gap? Nice blue. Yes, let's do that. So if we fail to break higher than this area where we are currently, if I just go down to the hourly, you'll see the multiple reactions. This is a strong supply and demand area for me, this one, because we've had strong reactions, retest, reacted, broken through, reacted, pushed lower, retested, pushed lower, pushed back into this area over here. Obviously we have this outlier over here where we've pushed lower, but what do we have to be tested down here? Looks like we just took liquidity from this point over here. Oh, misclicked. We just took some liquidity from down here. Let's see how it lines up with this rally-based rally on the hourly. Yeah, so that's an hourly base that was tested, and then just a little bit of liquidity that was taken from the most recent low swing. So that makes sense. Just came down to this point, took up all of the buyers that were sitting underneath here, and then just reacted, started pushing higher strongly. So there's always the gap that we can still come and fill. We at a current support and resistance point. Are we going to break through, retest it, and then continue higher? Or are we going to break into it, take the liquidity that's just above this point, and then start tanking lower to take the gap? Interesting. Right now, like I say, at a decision point, it needs to react off of this first before we can say it is bullish or bearish. It is bullish over the last few days, obviously. So from the gap of Monday, started pushing up, came back down, started pushing higher, made an closed higher, wicked higher, but strong. This isn't like your typical pullback. This is a much deeper pullback. And then now we're taking a new high. Could be that we might be running out of a bit of steam in this area over here, and there's a lot more sellers in this area down here. So there is the potential for this whole section over here to be a decision point, somewhere for price to come and retest again. This is just on the hourly. If I go down to the 15-minute, it might be able to... Oh, wow. No. Big, strong downward candle on Monday. Oh, here's the decision point. Consolidation. So, okay. There we go. So this is the decision point where price reacted off, consolidated, broke above, tested it, strong push into it, just absolutely started flying from there, came back to test it, and then started flying yesterday. Let's see the reaction where we are now. It's starting to print a few bearish candles on the 15-minute. We'll see whether or not it can push a little bit lower. So something to this regard, we're going to push a little bit lower, at least take the lows or at least the highs of Tokyo, try to push higher, and then start pushing lower. That would be great to see, but that's purely based on the fact that we're at a support and resistance point. It can always just do the absolute opposite and can obviously just absolutely shoot through it, attempt to come a little bit lower, and then go higher yet again. Only time will tell. Where are we? Infinity, sorry, the link doesn't seem to have worked in chat. Google CME Group FedWatch tool. Okay. In the wilds, saying, yep, run today 3 times a week now. Awesome. You also running like, what's the distance that you're running? Is it also like a 5K? Is it potentially a little bit longer, further distance? Or do you do like short, like 1K, 2K, which is not short, but like shorter runs? Keep at it, young man. You'll be as fit as me one day. Pooley, I think you misplaced the I with, or the O with an I accidentally, or an A. You're back. Your boy seen GU. Yes, we did. Absolutely tankings. Just took the lows here, and now it seems to want to react. Tell me you were in it, mate. Tell me you were in a sell. Pooley, you're every man's ambition. You'll get there one day. Don't forget to smash that like button. Yes, please, guys. Hit the smash the like button. Smash the I'm subscribed button. Smash the share button. Smash it. Smash all of it. You were in it. Good, mate. Good. Smashed. GU is going down. Yes, it is. It is tanking. EU as well is starting to print a little bit lower in relation to what it was. Technically, we have a failure to make a new high up over here, and then prices reacting lower. This I can just pull back. I've got too many drawings. The chart is becoming too filled up. I don't like having so many drawings on my chart, because it sometimes confuses me a little bit. So screw this. I'm going to remove all of the drawings from all of them, and I'm only going to look at the most recent structure. GU broken lower than this consolidation area, which was an area of reaction. It's broken through. Now we need to see whether or not we're going to have a retest, push lower, something like this. Alternatively, we can see price break through after taking this liquidity point down here, start pushing higher, and then bounce off of that yet again. Only time will tell. So as it stands right now, that's the only drawing that I'm going to have up, and then the highs of the day, this section over here, where we failed to break through. That. Okay. GU is getting down. It is, mate, around 10 to 12k. Is that for the week in total, or is that like the length of your run? Is it 10K every day, every like three times a week? Holy crap, mate. Ha. Yeah, I wish. Yeah, dude, unfortunate. I don't like you anymore, Richard Dean Butler. Them's the way it goes sometimes, Pooley. Them's the way it goes. No, actually, I was joking. You're a fit mate, mate. I still like you, even if you don't like me. I don't need you to like me for me to like you. Deal with it, mate. Deal with it. I would love to see price on the 5 minute now make a bearish candle, which is in the next 3 minutes 40 seconds. I would like to see it close, and then I am going to look for a short something like this if it closes. If it doesn't, that's okay. If it doesn't and it starts pushing higher, I will wait for the next drop base drop or rally base rally, and then I will enter on that one. EU, we've got a drop. We're busy printing a double base at the moment. We still have this area of consolidation where we reacted off. We took the highs, failed to make a new high, started pushing lower, took this low swing over here. We have a lower swing down here, and then it needs to be tested. If this one closes as a bearish candle, I will be in it like stink, and I will aim for something like this. Okay, in order for it to be a bearish candle, it needs to be somewhere over here. We do have this area over here. Rally, base, rally. Take the tops, failed at the tops. Push a little bit lower. There is a potential for it to close bearish from here. 2 more minutes to go. Let's keep them both in view so I can see. So far, this one is looking good. This is still the 5 minute. This one's also still the 5 minute. Close bearish, and then obviously this one I want to see close bearish as well. That's what I'm looking at. Oh, kisses, mate. 3 times a week. Dude. 30Ks a week is crazy. You must be the fittest person around, dude. Like, that is crazy, mate. Me and usually do a 10K once per week. We do love a good 10K. Yeah, dude, we do a 5K once per week. And I mean, 10K, that's a lot. But then again, you work your way up to a 10K, obviously. You didn't start your first day just running 10Ks. But I do know that I've seen some of your profile pictures, and you do look like a regular runner. You look like you enjoy doing marathons, and so a 10K to me seems like perfect, mate. I like the idea of getting to that point. We have a friend that owns a fitness studio, and it's stuff like yoga, Pilates, pole fitness, stretch classes, hammock classes. All of these, like it's built around the idea of mobility and strength training, but only with your body. And they now recently got let's say recently, they have one of the, let's call him an instructor that's there that is, or that is starting, let's rather say, calisthenics. So I would love to join that so I can potentially start some calisthenics, which I think would be cool. Bodyweight training, I like. I like the idea of bodyweight training. This is looking good now. We'll see if this one is going to... Okay. $0.25. There we go. Wait for it to come a bit closer to the sell point. This one. So. Oh, fuck. So. Okay, first live trade. Heads up on Nasrich if this 15 support breaks. So we're on the 15 at the moment here to see how it's going to react there. I'm in a EU sell at the moment. I'm risking $25. I'm going to reduce this a little bit lower down, probably to round about there. Yeah, let's do that. And then I'm aiming for, what is this? $26. So this is my 5K account. This is my very first live trade that I'm taking in front of you guys on this new account. It is a failure to break a new high. We started dropping rally, base, not rally, drop, base, drop. I'm aiming for 10 pips. If I don't get 10 pips, that's okay. I want to at least have more than $12.50 on this 5K. So right now, that is what I'm looking for. Unbiased Trader. Good morning, Unbiased Trader. How are you this morning? Pooley. Woo! First one. Yeah, you guys get to see it firsthand. So I'm going to... Oh, man, look at this. Beautiful. Drop, base, drop. Where was this one going to aim for? 10.4. Also, somewhere over there. Okay, if I can just get it right. Yeah. Very nice. Very nice. I'm just going to leave this one here. Let's look at... let's look at this one over here. Wait, what was my entry price on that one? 15,774. So there's my entry price. That's the current trade as it stands. I need to be careful at this point. What is this price? 730. So I need to be careful when we get to the low of Tokyo. But as it stands right now, this is the trade. So let's look at something else. Let's look at US Tech. I'm going to mark this one as if I had taken it, because I would have taken this one normally. This is a normal trade. I see my trade copier didn't work. I have an error here. Why did it not take the trade? Oh, really? Did I really forget to add that? No ways. Yeah, okay, whatever. I forgot to switch algo trading on. Yeah, okay. I forgot to switch algo trading on my 60K account. Ah. Okay, whatever. Going to leave this trade to just do its thing right now. It's about $5 in profit. It's doing a little bit of a pullback. I am just going to leave it so that it does its thing. I am going to, however, pay attention to what it's doing in this area over here. I would really love to see price break through. Try to retest it and then push lower to take my take profit. But I am also happy to take... what is this? $18 on this one would be fine. But I'm going to stick to my plan. If this is a losing trade, so be it. It is what it is. Unbiased Trading saying, today both my BTC, Bitcoin and DAX out finally wins for this week. Nice, mate. Happy for you. I've been running many years now, so a 10K is a casual run. On my non-running days, I'm doing calisthenics too. Perfect for longevity, strength, and joint health. Dude, I also like the idea of calisthenics. I have problems with my back, and weight training is not the best thing if you have joint issues or if you have muscular issues. Like, I have long thoracic nerve palsy on the one side, so the nerve that goes towards my scapula is fucked. So I have a dead spot on my back where I have zero feeling, and it has affected the mobility on my right shoulder. So calisthenics is something which I want to get into. It's probably going to be better for my joints and my body to do that than it is for weight training. Don't beat yourself up. You're streaming solo as well as trading. Very hard to do. Yeah, mate. Like, I don't care what this trade is going to do. It is what it is. My personal account broker having issues this morning with prices. You're having similar issues? No, not really. I haven't seen anything on the Fivers or on my IC Markets issues. Yeah. So let's see how this trade is going to pan out. Right now, it's about 3 pips in profit, $8 in total. We'll give it some time to kind of just decide what it wants to do. Like I said, I don't mind losing this trade. This is you can see here at the bottom, I don't know if you can see it that clearly. Maybe I need to make that a little bit larger. Let me do that first. Floating risk. Let's change this to 16. Yeah, and then the max lot size we make 10. Oh wait, maybe if I make this one 16 as well, it's going to move them around a little bit. Yeah, there we go. So, actually I don't really care about the max lot size. It's not really something that I use all that much. I just care about the risk. So as you can see down here, 0.25% risk for this trade currently. We're having a little bit of a reaction off of this low point, which is fine. If the trade goes against me, it is what it is. I'm not too bothered by it. At least I have a trade open according to my plan, and I'm not going to close it preemptively or early. What I would love to see now is a potential... Whoa, that is so thick. Let's make it thinner. There we go. I would love to see a break-even bounce over here and then start pushing lower. That would be so cool. Oops. Didn't lock that one in. Okay. All right. I'm going to let this one run. Let it do its thing. Let's look at something else. Okay, so if I had entered, I would have been six pips into drawdown on that one. This could have been a fake out. Maybe it would have been better if I re-entered somewhere over here. But this is according to the plan. This is what it would have been. Anyway, let's have a look at gold. Gold is doing very little. We had this area down over here where we had multiple touches, 1, 2, 3, and now a strong reaction straight into a bit of consolidation, which was preempted by a test over here from this area. US Tech still not doing much. Puli, do you find that NAS US Tech moves a lot better during the New York session than it does in the London session? In the London session, it doesn't seem bad. I mean, you have days where you have long-winded. You would be in a trade the whole day, but like it would push lower quite nicely. You'd have nice little reactions, and then it slows down. Nice push lower. How do you find the NAS move in relation to your the two strategy, not strategy, two sessions? Euro still sitting a little bit in profit. The GU trade would have been a failure so far. Yeah, let's see. Let's see how this trade goes. $9 in profit at the moment on that one. Coming back to test this little area over here. How many minutes do we have left before? We've got 2 minutes before this 5-minute candle closes. Let's look at the 15. It's not bad if this is a base candle. If this is the 15-minute base candle, let's have a look at the retracement here. There is still a potential for it to come higher on this one over here. The wrong one. Does this move over here? Yeah. Just waiting to see what it's going to do. Let's have a look at the hourly. Didn't even check the hourly over here. This is a potential area of interest as well. For hourly. Didn't check the 4 hourly. What if this was an absolute in the golden zone? This is probably not going to be a winning trade, guys, but that's okay. That is okay. Whatever happens, happens. I chose to take the trade. If it doesn't work out, then not that bad. $17.01. 15.701, sorry, not 17.01. All right, that's fine. 9 more minutes. We'll probably see this trade either take stop loss or just kind of like dwindle around. But I'm going to leave it to do its thing. I'm only, like I said, I'm only risking 0.25% on this one. So if it does what it does. Unbiased trader, I trade NDX during London, 6 a.m. until 12 p.m. less noisy. Fair. So I'm assuming, without like you divulging your specific strategy, I'm assuming you are range bound then. So you want to buy at the high, sell at the low kind of like thing. Pooley, 41% of last month's trades came from the London session, Rich. The DAX is very strong during this session at the moment, and NAS is following suit. Awesome. Good to know. I mean, you mentioned yesterday that S&P, DAX, and NAS, those three kind of like correlate quite well together. So if I just come down here to indices, we have the S&P. So I'm going to put S&P on this side. And then let's put the US tech on this side. Wow. That is quite correlated just on today alone. I mean, but it makes sense because the US tech, a lot of the companies for the US tech is in the S&P 500. That is crazy correlated. And then just add DAX. A little bit less correlated. S&P with the US tech is very correlated. That's crazy. Trend is my friend, but avoids hitting my stops. Hold till 8 p.m. if no SLTP. Oh, so you trade from one time to another time. So do you do breakouts of some sort, or do you do like opening range breakout strategies? You trend in one direction and hold the trade for that whole time period. Okay, this trade is struggling. We have 3 minutes before this candle closes, and we have yet to make a new low. So this EU trade is very slow. It's not showing me with the most confidence what it wants to do. I mean, this could be a potential base on the 15-minute, but it doesn't look super great right now. If this area holds, this green bar area down here, then I might have to close the trade a little bit earlier. I mean, it's okay to try and test down here 15701, which would be, come on, which would be about 7.3 pips, which is great. It's like 70% of a full trade, which is good, I would think. 5 more minutes and then the stream is going to come to an end, guys. Hopefully this trade is going to do something before then. Otherwise, I might just consider cutting it short if it really struggles to break through this area of consolidation down here. A little bit of profit would be fine. Otherwise, yeah. One of my strategies is how it's behaved T1, so time frame 1. And if I am bullish, I will allow it to pull back, gain momentum towards bull. Interesting. We can... oh, I saw you're in the Discord as well, Unbiased Trader. I initially thought that maybe you struggled to get verified, because it kept saying you were unverified, but I'm glad to see that you're in there now. Yeah, for those of you who are not in the Discord, the link is below. Just join in, and then once you've entered, there should be a verification button that you just need to click. And then Bob's your uncle. You're in the Discord. You can chat. You can discuss. You can look around. Still sitting roughly in this between $2 and $3 or 2 and 3 pip profit range at the moment. We are struggling quite a bit down at this area. On the 15-minute, we are busy printing a bullish candle. So this could theoretically be a bullish, not bullish, a base on the 15-minute. So let's have a look on the 15-minute, how much time is left. There is 18 seconds left on this one. I would love for it to print bearish. But only time will tell. 8 seconds. Okay, that is not horrible. The 15-minute, though, is not great, which means that if it's going to start pulling back, it'll probably start pulling back from here and start wanting to push higher. Because it's basically a bit of an indecision candle, this one. As you can see, no real downside, no real upside. Long wick above, meaning that it's tried to push higher, failed, and then just closed, but no conviction yet. So, yeah. Waiting to see its reaction. Still sitting... Oh, it's around about 4 pips in profit now, which is roughly around $10. Just wait and see. Everything in me wants to close this trade. Everything. Why? Because we're struggling. We're really struggling in this area. We're not getting this volumetric candles. We do have an area. Let me just remove that. We do have this area down here, this green area where price struggled or reacted off of previously strongly, and now we're at it again and we're really struggling here. So do I take the profit and have my very first trade on this account be a winner, or do I let it do its thing, which will probably be a losing trade based on the fact that we're struggling to push lower than this point and I have such a tight stop? I don't want to go and risk 0.5% on this one. I think 0.25% is fine. I will just wait. I'm just going to let it play out. All right, guys, we have come to the end of the live stream. I will update you guys on the Fiverr stream and in the Discord as to how this trade went. I'm going to just let it be. I'm not going to close it early. I am going to accept whatever it gives me, whether it's stop loss or take profit, because that was the whole idea of getting this account, was to do everything live in front of everybody, first and foremost, and secondly was to stick to the plan the whole way through. So yeah, MGN saying entered a UJ long on the 15-minute break of the high, looking good so far. Awesome, mate, happy for you. That means that you're also going to attempt to stick to your plan today. All right, guys, if you haven't already, hit us with a nice little thumbs up and share it with anybody that you think that might be interested in this kind of content. It's going to be a bit of a slow week. I am alone this whole week. Will is not here, but when Will joins us again as of next week, things should pick up. There should be a bit more banter. There should definitely be a bit more interesting discussions taking place. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll see you guys in the Fivers, those of you who are heading there this afternoon. If not, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Cheers.